Most gracious Father, we thank you for this opportunity, Father, to assemble once more again. Father, we just invite your Holy Spirit with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding into the deliberations today. Father, may the work that we do be pleasing in your eyesight. Father, we just ask that you bless every household that is represented here today, Father. Touch us all, Father, bind us together in Christian unity so that we may do the work that we have been ordained and chosen to do. These are the blessings we ask in your Holy Son, Christ Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Remain standing.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll ask the city supervisors to look over the agenda and see if there's anything that needs to be added or anything that needs to be deleted. I would like to add, just at 437, advertise county resources. Will there be any other?
Yes. Under Cynthia Stansel for being approving Sonia Stansel as the assistant receiving clerk, they should be approving Sonia Stansel as a temporary purchasing clerk. Is that should be requisition?
B, you said?
Temporary requisition.
Oh, it should be temporary requisition.
Requisition, yes.
Gotcha. Okay, we're striking out purchasing including requisition. Any other? I entertain a motion to approve this agenda. So moved. There has been a motion by Supervisor Moore and second by Supervisor Brown to approve this agenda. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. We're now at 405. Presentation from Cordelio Howard, Brad Lilly, and Michael McGill.
Hello, thank you. I'm Brad Layla. I'm Vice President of Development for Cordelio Power. Nice seeing you all again. Last time I was here, we had, and Michael McGill is here as well. Michael is the Development Manager for the wind energy project that we're proposing in the county. And anyway, so last time I was here, I mentioned to you all that we were really hoping to put some standards in front of you for your review. So essentially, since the county does not have an ordinance in place for wind energy, we prefer to come up with some type of rules so we know what to live by, and so you know what we need to live by, and that way we can all move everything forward, on the same front, and develop a good project that we have reviewed and went through all these documents, and that we are in agreement on how we're going to decommission a project, how we're going to build the roads, how we're going to develop the project, etc. So I know Michael had sent the documents over to you all, and I don't know how you would like to discuss these. If you have reviewed them, if you want to do a page turn, if you want to just talk about individual parts of the agreement, I can tell you kind of what each and every one of them is about, high level. But first and foremost, really what I really want to express to you all is that these documents actually came from two different projects we're developing in Missouri right now. So these are the forms that we're using for those projects. We figured that they probably work here since they worked over there. The difference between these projects is you have far, far fewer houses here than there are in Missouri. So some of this stuff, will come into play, but some of it won't really. So, but nonetheless, it's good to have all those rules in place in the event that we do want to put a house somewhere in a certain area for different setbacks from roads and houses and that type of thing. So anyways, how would you like to discuss these? I can kind of talk about road maintenance agreement, the decommissioning agreement, and the wind development agreement? Or did you have individual questions that you wanted to ask me if you had a chance to review?
I actually looked over some of it, but Attorney Pulley, have you had an opportunity to just look over all of them?
I've looked at it today. I didn't get we didn't get a chance to speak about it. Where is this supposed to be located?
Well, it's going to be roughly half in Sunflower County and half in Leflore County. Almost evenly split, quite honestly. I think right now we've got, how many acres do we have under?
23,000.
23,000 acres under lease right now. 23,600.
That's
23,600.
Are you talking about 23,000 in Leflore County or 23,000 total?
Both counties together.
Okay.
You got 23,000 in the full county under
No,
law.
both counties.
On both counties.
Yeah, so just ballpark 12,000 in Florida.
How are they taxed? Do you know?
How are they taxed? It's actually, they passed some new legislation last year on how you're going to tax wind energy and solar projects. So we have done some analysis in regard to how they'll be taxed. I think we're probably looking somewhere, if I recall correctly, if I get my numbers. I'm sorry, I got 22 different projects around the United States, so I can conflate some of these numbers. I'm leaning on Michael a little bit, but I think roughly before the turbines are fully depreciated, we're looking at ballpark of 3 to 3.5 million for the entire project. So essentially, half of that would come to Leflore. Annually, by the way. So, I mean, I would assume somewhere around 1.5 to 1.75 million, just based on, and that's a very loose number right now, so please don't hold me to it, but that is just loosely based on a project size that we're looking at right now. We have to go through the interconnection process and make sure that we can put all these megawatts out there. And then we also have to, work through the state taxation process as well. And again, though they're numbers before it's fully depreciated. Once a project is depreciated, the amounts do fall off a little bit, just like everything depreciates out there. So, but that's just kind of what we look at it.
Let me ask you a question. What does that do to the land value? It's not gonna be.
This what happens is the turbines are considered personal property. They are not considered part of the real estate. They are personal property. They will be assessed on a real road. What you're going to probably have is that at some point they're going to come and say to the board, we want to do a fee in lieu of taxes because of the valuation that anything over $60 million, they basically go to the state MDA, they calculate and say, okay, we're going to do a fee in lieu of taxes, so you will know up front what they will know up front what they're going to be paying. And so they're going to be paying basically probably about 50% of what they normally would pay, based on the fee and lieu that problem that they're going to negotiate with this board and the board and something like that.
So what you mentioned would be about half, cut in half.
I think what he did was we did some rough calculation. They came in and said, okay, we got one of these turbines is going to be $4 million. What would be the amount of tax on it? We calculated that, and I think that's maybe the number that he's looking at, that he was looking at.
The 1.75.
That's the number after they have adjusted it. No.
Not necessarily.
I don't think so.
You don't look like that's the right answer.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, so much of this stuff is unknown right now, right? We haven't taken a close look at a pilot agreement, right? Even in lieu of taxes, which are very common. We just completed one of these in Arkansas for a project we just finished construction on. And the reason that we really haven't looked at that yet is because we don't know how you would want to structure that. And we don't want to come to your community and say, hey, we want this big this big gift, right? Because, for instance, in Arkansas, they gave us a payment in lieu of taxes. What we did with that is we turned around and we split that. We said, all right, we're gonna save X amount of taxes. Thank you. But by the way, we're going to write you a check for $400,000 every year for the next 30 years. Money they otherwise would not have received the way that it's structured in Arkansas. Okay, because the vast majority of in Arkansas, the vast majority of the taxes go towards the school districts, and we're really getting into the weeds here if we really dive into that. I don't know exactly how it's structured in Mississippi now. I don't know where the majority of it goes, but in Arkansas, for instance, because so much of it went to the school, and the schools are already so well funded that they just took the $400,000, put it in a general fund, and they're going to do with whatever they want to do with it, right? So I don't want to get ahead of ourselves and say, here's what we're asking for, because that is a conversation down the road, and we're not asking you for that right now, but we might.
Are you the ones that put the windmills up in Calhoun County?
No, sir.
No, sir. Is it a competitive business? I assume it.
I'm sorry?
Is it competitive?
Is it competitive?
Yeah, could somebody else want to come in and put a windmill?
Oh, you mean in the county here? Sure. Yeah, it's a very competitive industry. What you need to know about, and there is another wind developer working in this county as well, but as far as I know, there's only two of us right now. Mississippi, 10 years ago, you wouldn't put a wind turbine up because just the turbines weren't as efficient, right? They're much, much more efficient right now. The price of energy has gone up substantially. It's going to continue to go up substantially. But however, Mississippi only has so much load, meaning there's only so much electricity that is needed in Mississippi. So it's not like you're going to have wind turbines dotting the landscape here because there isn't that much need, right? So I wouldn't expect that you're going to get flooded with a whole bunch of other developers who are going to come in here and want to develop wind projects. And in respect to where we're developing, we have so many acres under control right now. For another developer to come in this area where we're at, it would be fruitless because there's just no land release there.
And look, I'm for this. I don't think that I'm not.
Yes, sir.
I'm just trying to get some answers. Leroy, what I really was asking, the value of the land right now is taxed at farm.
It is.
That's how it's going to stay?
Yes.
So it'll still be farm land.
Uh-huh.
So it ain't going to affect the farmer himself. That's what I'm wondering about that.
This will not affect the farmers and what they're doing. This equipment, all of this is personal property. Has technically, even though it's sitting on the land, we look at it at some point, if you pick it up and move it and be gone, and the land will be exactly back the way it was. So the only thing that's going to be assessed is the turbines and windmill that they actually put down.
All right, now the setback away from this thing, you've got a contract in Arkansas, I'm assuming, that zoning that says, okay, this is what you got to do. I'm assuming you got that.
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay.
We
don't have that in this, right?
I'm sorry?
We don't have that.
Actually, this agreement that you have right now is almost verbatim the agreement that we put in front of 3 different counties right now in Arkansas, and they are looking at it as you were looking at it.
Did you say how far you got to have away from the?
Yes, sir.
In this?
Yeah. So, like for instance, and by the way, before I talk about this, I just want to make one more comment about the property values and taxation. As he explained, here is the way that it's taxed throughout the United States. You're always considered personal property tax. That tax never goes to the landowner. I've never seen it in any state in the United States. So the way that Mississippi approaches it is the same as everywhere else. That's good. But secondly, in our agreement with our landowners, it states in there that in the event that their taxes were to increase because of the wind turbines on our property, we're responsible for making up the difference. So they're protected in that regard. As far as the setbacks are concerned, yeah, there's setbacks in there. For instance, that a wind turbine has to be within 110% of the distance of the height from like a roadway, for instance, right? So if it's a 700-foot turbine, it's got to be 770 feet away from a roadway. Same with a non-participating property line.
All that. How do you?
All of this is 1,500 feet.
1,500 feet.
Yeah. Which is very standard.
That's not in this.
It is in there.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, if you got with engineer or ordinance,
No. So what the agreement states in there is that we are going to, when we get this together, we're gonna write a check for $500,000 to the county, and that money, in part, is going to be used to help pay for an engineer. So we're going to suggest an engineer. You're going to suggest an engineer. Whoever we come upon, we're going to agree on an engineering company, and they're going to be critical in identifying like all the road issues and all those type of things and development type issues, right? So we can move this forward, because like when it comes to like the road use agreement, it really matters where we come from, right? It matters what culverts we go over, what bridges we go over, what road, because we're going to ruin some roads, right? We're probably going to crush some culverts. But when we do that, we need to make sure that the engineer is going to be involved. We're going to figure out exactly the route we're going to take. We're going to identify exactly what we have to fix. We're going to have to do bridge and culvert studies, all that type of stuff ahead of time. And then afterwards, when the project's completed, we have to work with that engineer to actually figure out what we got to fix, right? So all of that is taken into consideration.
you don't want that sign tonight.
No, sir.
Okay,
No,
that's what
that'd be
we're a long way.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk to you for a while.
Yeah.
But not. We got a crowded agenda tonight.
Yes. No, sir. We put this in front of you for you to review, for you to come up with a whole bunch of questions. And if you see something in here you don't like, let us know. Let's talk about it. Everything in here from decommissioning bonds to road use agreements and how we're going to develop the project, all that. So we just wanted to give you kind of some rules.
Right. You got a call.
He left a card.
But it's Michael's card. He can have his.
No, that's Michael's card.
Nobody else said. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Sir.
It's going to have another.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else have any questions? No, sir. Thank you. I think Mr. Ware answered part of my question. Okay.
Okay, under the additional payment, the $500,000 is the scope for any unforeseen expenses incurred by the county during the administration of this agreement. And then it goes on to state that we use it into the community at the board's discretion. If those costs, engineering or prepping or whatever, if that exceeds that $500,000, who puts the bill up?
Well, we would, but I'd be shocked if you even came close to meeting half of that. But we would. Most of the work is done with these documents, and there'll be likely a day where we're going to sit down and walk through and do the edits, but the majority of it is complete, and a lot of these standards that you see in here are in place all over the United States. So hopefully you won't have to spend much of that. That's my hope, and you can just keep the rest of it and do what you will. And again, we've been I've been doing this for about 20 years, and I think we can really knock a lot of this stuff out without incurring a lot of expense, I think. Yeah. And again, at Cordelia, we've got a lot of people with a lot of experience, and if I don't have the answers, I promise you I can get it to you.
Looking for a motion or just FYI?
It was just FYI.
That's it.
Yeah. What would you like for next steps? I just want to make sure that we're responsive to whatever you need.
I guess for me, I would want the attorney to have a thorough look at all of these documents that you introduced. And then I guess we'll probably discuss it as a board and then invite you back.
Okay.
You invite yourself back.
Maybe.
You all, excuse me, all the farm owners have been subject to leasing rights. The way you plan on putting your,
Yes, sir.
they know what they're gonna get and all that.
Oh, yes, sir. Their agreement is probably just about as thick as these. So, yeah,
They got
it's very well spelled out. Yes, sir. And
you can't hurt anything.
What's that?
You can't hurt anything.
I don't think so.
I can't tell you.
But we have to go through. We have to go through an FAA process. We have to go through a ton of environmental work, right? We're already studying all the birds and the bats and the bees out there. We gotta go through all the engineering designs and the electrical designs and civil engineering, all that type of stuff. So we're already working on all of that.
I'm just curious about the criteria that you all use to select which tracts of land are prime and which ones aren't. Being that it's only county line, say half is over there, half is over here. Just curious about how that selection process.
Well, you know what it's all about, and it kind of goes back to my comment about you're not going to have wind turbines dotting your horizon all over Mississippi. The answer is it's because of the transmission line. You have a 230 kV line that runs through the two counties here. And where it intersects those two counties, right, actually happens to be a really good place to interconnect onto the grid there. Right, so it's entirely random that the half of the project is in Sunflower and half in Leflore. All that really has to do with that point of interconnection there. Yeah, and Missouri really does not have a lot of transmission. They have very little transmission capacity, so you couldn't come into Mississippi. You couldn't come into Mississippi and just put up a whole bunch of wind projects because you just don't have the capacity to take those electrons out. Right. And the 230 line that you have running through here, fortunately, we'll find out more next year, but it appears to have capacity where it could potentially work.
Does the federal government, do they support the windmill?
Does the federal government support the windmill? Guess it depends who you talk to in the federal government, but the president, no, he does not.
So the president didn't. So what about you have to deal with the FAA and all those? Are you running into any issues by the president not supporting the windmill?
That's I hear that question daily, and it's a good question, very relevant. When it comes to the FAA, typically you would, but with this project, we already went through those steps and we already received they're called determinations of no hazard. Basically, it's your approval from the FAA to move forward. So we're fortunate we cleared that hurdle here already. Where you can run into other issues, and not all wind projects or solar projects out there, you need approval from federal agencies. You have to trip a federal nexus, it's called, right? So where that can occur is if all of a sudden you have environmental issues and you need the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to step in, or you're going to impact wetlands in excess of X amount, you would need their approval. So, could it happen? Yeah, it could happen here. If all of a sudden we're going to trigger one of those federal nexuses, but really right now, I don't think we will. But we'll find out more. Yeah.
That was a bad question.
That's a good question. He says killing our whale.
Yeah.
I just had a suggestion, and I know that it's early on in the beginning stage of the project, but my suggestion is after the attorney looks over the contract and he's okay with it, I could just possibly meet with the supervisors, one, maybe two at a time, with myself to iron out any questions before the contract is signed.
Excellent. Yeah. I mean, we can't have enough contact with you, right? So please don't ever be afraid to call or email or anything. We want to make sure that you're brought up to speed on everything. So,
Thank
All right. Thank you, Mr. Brad.
all right, thank you very much.
There was no action for your information. We're now down to 410. Rika Mitchell, Boys and Girls Club of Greenwood, requesting funding for 26 years. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Payne.
You can share. Don't be expecting
Good evening.
Thank you.
I would first like to say thank you all for your continuous support for the Boys and Girls Club. You all have really been giving us great support within the years, and we're just here to continue that effort. I am Rika Mitchell, the director of the Greenwood location. This is Mr. Cameron Abel. He is our chief financial officer of the Boys and Girls Club of the Mississippi Delta. First, I'd like to start off by saying this summer really showed us what can happen when the community invests in the young people. We had an awesome summer camp ran this summer with the partnership with Delta Health Alliance. We ran over 25 programs. Some of those programs included culinary arts, automotive, entrepreneurship, DIY STEM, gardening, choir, music, and the kids were able to engage in different activities. The kids weren't just busy, they were building up life skills that can help them further on. Our current project that we're currently working on, we have a grant to continue our culinary arts program, where we will actually be creating a cookbook, turning Southern recipes into a healthier recipe for the kids with our Healthy Habits program. We also are working on a literacy enrichment program with our second and third graders as they are embarking on taking the third grade test. So you all really have been a great help to the Boys and Girls Club. And in this upcoming year, we are trying to work on some renovations for the club to update the facility. We would really love to have that basketball court closed in and make it an indoor court, and just update some of the facility inside the unit. And I'm going to let Mr. Abel take
So I'm Cameron Abel. She's Cam with the K, I'm Cam with the C. Some of you will remember that I was the board attorney with Judge Betty Sanders several years ago. And so I retired from teaching law and practice and took on the chief financial officer position with the larger organization. And so we distinguish, Ms. Mitchell actually runs the local Greenwood Club. The larger organization runs 9 clubs across 7 counties, all the way from Jonestown. We're having some issues in Yazoo City right now. But we actually cover the largest geographical footprint in the continental United States. Alaska has a bigger footprint, but their CEO travels by airplane from club to club. And so I wanted to come, Mr. Dallas, since his regrets. I do want to thank you for last year's gift and support that you gave to us. Ms. Mitchell has done some amazing things in the last year. She and I both, oh gosh, how long have we known each other? Through the Sanders firm, 7, 8 years, long time. And she is a licensed teacher. I was a licensed teacher in Drew for 9 years before I went back to law school, so I've got 22 years in education. So that programming is very important to us. I do want to tell one quick story. She mentioned Delta Health Alliance, and I got a call from them in February, March. I need to see you tomorrow, which to me meant, oh no, we're fixing to lose our money from them. Like, they underwrite not just Greenwood, but they also write our Valley summer programs. And so Derek Kinkley plopped in that chair across from me the next morning, and I was just, oh no. He said, well, we got a call from our bosses in Memphis, and they said they got your post-test back, and your clubs made significant gains in reading and math over the summer. Our children didn't lose knowledge, they gained knowledge. So she's doing amazing work. She's doing practical work. She mentioned a string of things, but she didn't stop and say, our kids learned how to change a tire. Right? Everybody talks about education. We need to move towards more practical teaching. Well, Ms. Mitchell is directing that. and we're seeing huge gains. We've purchased new software that aligns with the school district, and so we have certified teachers coming in with volunteers to do one-on-one, small group reading, and we're seeing incredible results, and we lift her up for that. I would mention the request there is not just for Greenwood, it is for our Valley Club as well. It's located on the northwest part of the Valley campus. And I would just kind of point out that TANF is our main line of funding, but any type of funds coming out of the federal government through the state right now are pretty unstable, and we're not really sure where that's headed. 21st Century Grant monies have been in the news a lot lately. Funds were being held back from the state, but they were eventually approved. They are not funded through that program, but we have one club that's only run that way, right? So we're trying to get out in front of that. We've rebudgeted. We've cut costs everywhere we can in every single club. Ms. Mitchell has been wonderful about helping us keep costs down. And so I want to thank you on behalf of the larger organization. Both these clubs run at a deficit. Ms. Mitchell runs between pretty low $10,000 to $15,000 deficit. The Valley Club runs around $40,000 deficit. So that money is filled in from the larger organization from unrestricted funds that the larger organization receives. So it's a lot of times it's a matter of what the local communities will support to help us do. Greenwood has been very good about helping with the Greenwood Club, and hopefully at some point we'll be able to get some funds from it as well. But your support is greatly appreciated. We try to be good stewards with those funds and make sure that our children are reaching their potential. That's our mission.
Yes.
Help every child reach their potential, and they're all different. And we thank you, Ms. Mitchell, and friend.
Do you all have any questions?
Well, I just want to thank you guys for what you do for the county. I mean, I know a lot of families and a lot of kids that participate in the Boys and Girls Club. I know this past year we did add Boys and Girls Club to our budget. You're still there as far as that number and reaching this number. I don't know if it's possible. We're working with a budget right now, so you kind of call us in the midst of that. And Taylor, for the record, Miss Mitchell is we're not of any kin. I really want to appreciate you guys for what you do, and we're going to do whatever we can as a county. I'm speaking on my behalf as a county to try to ensure that we continue to support y'all throughout the years.
How much y'all get in now?
Sorry.
How much you received in now?
Y'all gave us $25,000 last year, and we divided it evenly between the two clubs.
I believe that came out of Barberton.
Those were the discussions a few years ago, and that's right. That is, Judge Sanders was still the county attorney at that point. And
we budgeted them into our budget this year, last year.
We appreciate it. If you've got any left over this year, we'll be happy to. We thank y'all.
Thank y'all. We really appreciate y'all. Y'all have a All right, there's no action at 4:10. We're now down to 4:15. Milwaukee 2, request for tax abatement. Tax exemption.
Good afternoon.
How you doing?
I'm joined by Matthew Waldrop with Milwaukee Tool. We've got others from Milwaukee in the gallery. The Greenville-Leflore Industrial Board met last month and has recommended tax exemption for investments that they have made in two of their buildings in the industrial park, totaling over $11.5 million. If you have any specific questions about the improvements that were made, they're happy to answer any questions. But Milwaukee continues to be Leflore County's largest single employer, and they're great corporate citizens. So we're here to make that request. If you have any questions for us or for Milwaukee.
you feel comfortable that we will continue with Milwaukee and Leflore County?
For sure, yeah, and I only speak for the repair side of the business. So we're in the old Budweiser building, if you know which one that is. I also asked some members of our team to show up today. One, I want to introduce all of us to you guys and let you know, maybe different than some of the Milwaukee people that I've talked to in the past. I grew up here. I raised my family here now. They raised their families here now. So my long-winded way to answer your question is, I want to be here, growing up here, and I want to live here, and I want to raise my kids here because I grew up here. So I guess that's my answer.
Yeah, you can't keep it too long. As far as I'm concerned, I'm ready.
I think you said you wanted to introduce.
Well, I just want these guys right here. So this is Joey Greco. He's our director of operations for the site. Elliot Thornburg. He runs our inventory, and Justin Bright's our quality manager. Justin, like me, travels a lot. We have a sister facility in Indiana that we support. He also doesn't want to move, and so we want to be dedicated to this town, and we want to be based here. I took over the role I'm in now in November, and the discussion I had with my wife at the time was, well, do you want to move corporate, or do you just want me to travel a lot? She's like, I don't want to leave. And so we want to be here, and I want to let you know that we're all committed to this town.
I'll make that motion for approval.
I'm second.
There has been a motion by Supervisor Brown for approval and second by Supervisor Abraham. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it.
That's a 10-year
motion.
10 years.
Got it for 10 years.
Ayes have it. The motion carries.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thank you guys. If you ever need something from us, please reach out.
Yes, sir.
We're here to help.
Hang on.
You can't hear Colin. He didn't say anything.
I can say one additional thing, just as a point of personal privilege.
Yes, sir.
I wanted all of y'all to know that the EDF is hosting our annual meeting on Thursday, September the 4th. You all should have received an invitation in the mail, but we do need a head count. So if you don't mind, by this Friday, either scan the QR code or respond to the email and let us know if you're going to come so we can plan dinner.
I can't be there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Supervisor Collins.
Could you actually with that speak on?
That's what I was just saying. They wanted me to see if I can get them on this phone.
Okay. Well, we're gonna try to get you on the phone, sir. I'm about to hang up.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Don't hang up. Okay. Yes, sir.
It's saying busy.
It's saying, she said it's saying busy.
Hey, it's got to be busy. She needs on the phone.
I know you want to take my time.
That's it. 602-896.
They not down. You never know if these phones sometimes they require different things. Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
You bet.
All right, we're now at 417, Aflac Insurance Representative.
All right, Victoria is passing out the folders for y'all.
Come on now.
So, of course, y'all may be thinking, wait, didn't we just do open enrollment while you're here? So, we were saw an opportunity to do, before the open enrollment ends, we found an opportunity to present to y'all a employer-paid life insurance. So we have typically or historically only been employee-funded, and we still, of course, are. And thank you for continuing to allow us to do with y'all each year. But we now have a group employer-paid life insurance policy. So, and we've had it for some time, but we just found through conversations and opportunity that we might can help y'all. So, in your folder on the left, you'll see the actual proposal. And I did notice when I was looking over it, it actually says up to $50,000. The proposal is for $25,000 for the price amount. Okay. Now, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's employer paid. It is portable. That does still coincide with all of our other athletic products, which I do believe is probably different from what you currently have. I don't believe it can go with, I don't think it's portable. But this one is. So it is, issue age is 18 to 70. That's one difference from what you currently have. So,
however, what you currently have does decrease after age 65. If you notice on the second page or the second insert, like the first employee is age 74, and the benefit amount. The Hartford benefit amount is $16,250, and that decreased when they turned, I think, 65 or 70. Either 65 or 70. We were looking at it with Miss Graham at open enrollment. Whereas the second person who's 57 has the $25,000 benefit currently. That benefit won't decrease until they turn. Yeah, it's either 65 or 70. I can't really remember, but that would be. You know, our policy cannot cover anyone that is over 70, but that's the only drawback. And we did figure out that there are only 9 employees of Leflore County that are over 70.
Wait a minute. So what would my benefit be? Well, I'm 75, 4 years old.
So we're wondering, we don't know this answer. We're wondering if it's possible for the ones that are over 70 to be able to
grandfather.
I don't know if that's a possibility exists with another something.
That would be something that they
need to find out before we move forward, of course, because we don't want, our whole motivation is not to keep anybody.
Nobody ever told me what is my benefit if I.
How old are you now?
How much?
How old are you now?
How old are you?
Okay, so probably $16,250.
Yeah. All right, so go to 75. I'm about to burn out, so I'm trying to figure out.
But you on the truck.
You're not even on the truck. 76, yeah, there's 76-year-old is 12,500. So when you turn 75, it would be.
Yeah, I don't think it would be like 12,500.
Right. Now the monthly premium does decrease along with the face amount decreasing. But currently with the Hartford, but we just saw. I know that the Hartford doesn't come to open enrollment. They don't, they're not very active in open enrollment and the benefits offering and things like that. So we just thought that we would bring this to the table as an option because we, are very much active in open enrollment planning and benefits offering and things like that. But if we can figure out if the Hartford will keep the employees that are over the age of 70, then that may be, a good fit.
I'm going to do anything much better than that. So I really don't mind. I mean, is this a cheaper policy?
In total, it's not. There's a monthly difference of almost $1,700 per month. But the trade-off is the benefit amount does not decrease as you get older. The policy is portable. The employee can take it with them if they do retire or, leave, whatever, things like that. Even if, say, you have an employee who is 69 right now, they sign up for this policy, they turn 70. They're not going to be dropped from the policy. We just can't write any new policies for anyone over the age of 70. It's actually
$5,000 the whole time they're here.
Right. Never decreases.
Never decreases.
And it shows y'all that in the right. Yeah, it goes with it.
And I will say, being in the line of work that I'm in, I have seen many employees over several years that did not realize that their life insurance that they had with their employer, number one, they couldn't take with them. Number two, decreased. So, said employee was almost 65, getting ready to retire, thought that they still had a $50,000 life insurance policy. They go to retire and turn around and realize that it's only $20,000. That's not enough to cover their debt if they were to pass away. And it's just to be the insurance agent on this side of the table, to have to relay that message to someone, it's not fun. It's very, very disheartening because they think for so many years that they're covered, and they're not. Once you get down to it. So this would also offer another layer of protection for sure for your employees, until now the termination age on this policy is 120. I personally don't want to live to 120. But I think they did put a fair age on that termination age. But the benefit amount would be $25,000 to that age, so it does not decrease at any point during the life of the policy.
So I just wanted to make sure that supervisors know the reason they are here today is for two reasons. A, the other insurance agent does not show up at open enrollment. And secondly, the benefits and the fact that, everything that they just know, they just mentioned about the premium going up and going down and the amount that the employee received, and it doesn't move with you. When we found all of that out at this past open enrollment, I invited them here to explain that to the supervisors so that we'll know how we need to move forward. And the biggest thing is that the current provider was not showing up at open enrollment and has not for years, so employees couldn't ask questions. So that's the reason they're here today, to present this information so that we'll know if we want to allow them to offer our insurance for our life insurance for our employees.
And it also lets us see, with us talking to them about all their other Aflac products, we would also be knowledgeable of what they have here. If y'all decide to go with us on this, we will have that information. Because we are asked a lot of questions that we don't have the answer to.
Yeah, because currently it's, you have what the county provides, and then you have what we have. We don't really know, and we haven't been able to ask the Hartford representative either because, they haven't been showing up for open enrollment. Back to the insert, this page right here is going to have every single employee and their ages, so you can see the breakdown of each employee and how much it costs.
So we don't have names, we just have ages.
And then on the last page would be the total of what the Hartford currently costs and the total of what the Aflac would cost, and the monthly difference of $1,697.22.
There is no way you can write a grandfather in.
The what I would recommend is to find a contact for the Hartford and see if that would be something that you could do. If it's does it have to be everybody to have the policy, or can it only be those 9 people?
Let me ask you a question. Looking at the Hartford, it's already cut down.
Right.
You cut down anyway.
Right.
But what I'm saying, if we're going to change all our policy over to y'all, there's no way y'all could consider covering the 9 people grandfathering them in.
No, sir, because the issue age cuts off at 7.
Right. We tried to do an exception because it is only 9 of you.
But they said it wasn't an exception; it was just
the way the policy was written.
The Department of Insurance.
What would be an exception?
And what we couldn't find one because she said that we tried, and that's what they came back with. It's the Department of Insurance. It's not. We can't make an exception. And that's just the law.
Right. I got to say, this some of my bankers, it ain't gonna fit. I don't want them to get concerned.
Okay. Well, and that was a concern to me when I
still think y'all ought to go back and try.
I don't want to leave anybody out, and if that means that we, I don't. I did actually try to get a quote from another company that we could basically facilitate for y'all, and I did get my quote back in time.
I wanted a breakdown of each employee by occupation, not by job title.
I sent them
like what they actually did, and I was like, there's too much to get that goes into that.
So you couldn't get it by today.
Okay, so I mean, they're wanting a more specific occupation, not just sheriff's department. They want to know if that person is a deputy or a CEO. What's their position?
Give Ms. Graham this week, give the information, and then present it back to us, and then we'll see if it's something to present back to us.
Okay.
When is the insurance up?
Well, y'all have a
September 1st.
A 10/1 effective date. So maybe we've got
October.
It's October. It's not September 1st.
I thought it was.
It's October the 1st, so we have a month or so, to get that quote back. But we knew that we were on the agenda, so we at least brought something. But we'll definitely get with Ms. Graham on the specifics of job title and job duty, so that maybe we can get, because that other company I think will cover over the age of 70, but we didn't want to just come empty-handed today. And that company is Pacific Life.
Based on the coverage you're looking at here, though, you wouldn't be $16,000, right?
Well, and some of them listed here. There's one down the road here, the 76, and their amount's only $12,500.
So what do we have right now?
That's what you have.
What we got?
The Hartford.
So it wasn't but $16,000 anyway.
Well, that's
for one person, for somebody that's over the age of 70. And yes, but any other employee?
Nine of us.
Right. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And this is alphabetical. So
I'm 69.
This list is.
I can't say, but the list is alphabetical.
The list is alphabetical. The list is alphabetical.
So
well, without coming out and saying that's what but we'll definitely get the rest of that information that we need for the Pacific Life quote, and we will get on
back to
get on the agenda to present to other companies.
Do we have any other questions?
Rub it in.
All right, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, 417, that was just an info, no action. We have now to 420, Mark Singleton, South Group Insurance, discussion of county-wide insurance.
Good afternoon. How are y'all doing? Thank y'all for taking time out of your day and to go through a few things with us on the insurance renewal. Last year, when we spoke, we had kind of assigned Bernard and myself a task of us trying to get a hands-on approach to the county's risk management of claims. That drives insurance premiums. So what's happened is he and I talk a lot, and the claims have come down. We have a frequency of much less claims, but fewer claims than we've had in the past, to the point of about 50%. 4 years ago, we were filing 33 claims a year. This past year, we had 14. That's the good news. We're heading in the right direction, less claims. The other side of that is the severity of those 14 claims is still pretty extensive. Case in point, this particular year, we had $347,000 worth of new claims. Out of those 14 claims, we still have several of them that are open. 3 this year are still open, which means there's some litigation involved. So the $347,000 will be growing. So that's just the number we're at the moment. A couple of them were pretty big claims. We had an accident head-on with some, I'm sure y'all are aware of several things with motor graders and accidents and things like that. Those are still ongoing, and they'll be ongoing probably for a year just based on litigation, how it works itself through the process. So we've got 3 claims actually open from last year. Same thing, litigation is driving those. So in total, we've got 6 claims that are still open in the last 2 years that are still walking through the process, which drives the number of those claims paid out. It's not a stagnant number at the moment. However, for me, I'm sure we've talked about it, the roof claim, the big claim that we had 2 years ago. That's still open as things have changed. That number will be growing also as more claims come in on that particular claim. So with all that said, I think we're heading in the right direction. Bernard does a great job. We're very hands-on. We talk to the department heads. If we need something, he's very helpful. If we need to get just to contribute some information to the department heads or get some information from the department heads, very, very helpful. And I think we're heading in the right direction. With all that said, does everybody have one of these?
Everybody.
Okay. All right, let's go through the renewal. All the coverages stayed the same from last year to this year. What changed is our exposures. In each category, the exposures went up. And for example, the buildings and contents limit last year was $46,244,000. This year is $47,611,000. So a net change of $1,366,000 and more building values this year than we had last year. The wind and hail deductible is the same we had last year. $250,000 minimum deductible. If we have another big wind claim, there's a $250 deductible, and that was in place last year also. So nothing's changed there. The equipment limit, we've got more equipment this year than we did last year. A net change of plus $610,000 this year. We had more equipment during the year. The general liability limit, these are the same limits we've always had, $1 million per occurrence, $2 million aggregate. The automobile liability limit, same thing, it stayed the same. Now, what did change is the number of vehicles and trailers that we have this year versus last year. This year we have 130 autos with 22 trailers, which is a net change of plus 10 autos and plus 18 trailers. Public officials liability, no change on the limit there. EPL limit, same thing. Law enforcement liability, $1 million there. We've got more law enforcement exposure this year than we have in the past. I would guess that's probably more people in the departments than we've had 2 years ago. That affects the premium. More exposure equals more premium. Cyber liability, we've not taken it in the past. We can certainly look at it. We would need to get a separate application filled out. We would send it off to our brokers and get a quote back, and then we could proceed if y'all wanted to go that direction. It may be something to think about. If you do need to go that way, please let me know, and I'll kind of get the paperwork to the proper people. Premiums from last year to this year, it's going to go from $532,737 to $637,065. Again, with travelers, we've got several open claims that they're still dealing with. It did go up. Our exposure went up quite a bit. They gave us a fair quote. They're a great company that's standing by us, even though those claims keep kind of coming our way. Now, I got an option on the third page here for us. If you say, look, I want some options on my deductible, the $250 may be more than we can stand if we have a big hail or wind claim. We've got two options. We can go to a $25,000 wind and hail deductible for the $26,609, or you can say we can go $50,000 wind and hail deductible for $31,453. And we can add that. You don't have to decide that tonight. We can add that at any time. But I do want to give you some options on that. Does anybody have any questions?
I do.
Sure.
When does the current insurance policy expire for?
Now one.
My question is, if we include cyber liability insurance, does that take the premium down?
No, it would be additional to everything here. It would be a separate company altogether. Travelers will offer that through this package. It would be a separate company that does nothing but cyber. So it would be in addition to it.
So you said the current expires
9/1, September 1st, August 31st.
On his back page, trying to figure this out, option 1, 25,000, win and hell, 26,000.
That's for each claim you
If
have.
you go up higher, it's more money. Why would you?
Well, no, it's not going up higher, it's going down. We would, in lieu of the $250,000 win and hail deductible on that second page, we would go from a $250,000 to a $25,000.
Okay.
Right. So and that'll be each occurrence.
I mean, Traveler's about the only one, right?
They're the only one.
Yeah.
The only one on the market.
On win and hell.
No, on municipalities.
On municipalities.
On municipalities at all. Again, I'm hoping in the business of writing municipality, municipality, I would like for the market to soften up and give us some more options. I'm hoping that's going to come down the road, but this is a national issue. It's not a Mississippi issue. It's not a Delta issue. The insurance market has done this. It's constricted to the point of everyone is scared to take any risk and get into new businesses and that sort of thing. So hopefully in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, we'll have more companies entering the market, whereas like 5 or 6 years ago, we had a couple. And now it's got to Travelers.
Based on being, I make a motion, we go with the new option.
All right. Thank you all. Do we have any questions?
I just made a motion.
This expires when?
September the 1st, so it'll be August 31st at midnight, actually.
In there.
Sunday.
I second.
There has been a motion by Supervisor Abraham and second by Supervisor Brown. To roll back. Any questions? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Aye. Ayes have it. With one opposed, motion carried.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, we're now at 425. Larry Johnson, Director of the Civic Center.
Motion to accept this resignation and also to approve to hire Mississippi Forms as manager.
All right, there has been a motion on A and B by Supervisor Brown and second by Supervisor Moore on A and B. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carried. All right, we're now at 427. County Administrator, Ms. Cynthia Stenson.
Good afternoon, Board.
Good afternoon, Ms. Stenson.
A, rate quotes for 7 new Caterpillar motor graders. We have 4 rate quotes, Trustmark, Bank of Commerce, Cadence Finance, and Planners Bank. Do the board have copies of the? Okay. I recommend that we go with Trustmark. They have the lowest rate.
Motion.
Is that how many years?
7 years.
Which one?
The seven years.
That's your motion on the 7?
Yes.
I said, oh, the second.
All right, there's been a motion by Supervisor Moore and second by Supervisor Abraham to go with the 7-year quote. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carried.
B, approval for Sonia Stansel to be the temporary requisition clerk for the Leflore County Juvenile Detention Center.
I'll make that motion. It was motion by Supervisor Mitchell and second by Supervisor Brown. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried.
C, approval for out-of-state travel for Judge James Littleton to attend the Judicial Education Conference in Reno, Nevada, September 3rd through 5th, 2025.
I'll make that motion. There's been motion by Supervisor Mitchell and second by Supervisor Moore. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carried.
D, update on the bi-weekly payroll. I just wanted to inform the board that we will, our plan, the anticipated plan is to go live October 1 with the bi-weekly payroll. That's the anticipated plan. Did the board have any questions on it?
How is it? Everything running smoothly and you have it?
As of now,
Personnel wise?
Yes.
You going bi-weekly or bi-monthly?
Every 2 weeks is bi-weekly.
So every 2 weeks y'all know payroll.
Yeah, you know you're
Bi-monthly would be the 1st and the 15th.
You realize that some months you will probably have 3 payroll.
Yes, about 3 months out of a year. Yes, sir. But it'll
You
still
got
be,
the staff to do it.
yes, sir. It'll still be the same amount yearly. Because on the months that there are more days, you get paid for more hours in those months. In February, there are 28 days. In December, there are 31 days. So you're going to get paid for more hours in December than you would for. So it'll be the same.
I'm worried about the staff and the time it's going to take for the 941s and all that. And I just got to compare them. But anyway, that's it.
Question. I remember when we decided to look at going to the bi-weekly piece. I just don't remember a board order where we said that we were going to actually receive.
Several years ago.
Yeah, it was prior to me coming along. But the day I started, all I've been asking is, when are we going bi-weekly? When are we going?
I would like to.
We can pull the board order for you.
Yeah.
See it.
Absolutely.
Before we, because I don't remember voting to say, yes, change to bi-weekly.
How about if we table it?
You did bi-week, you might did bi-month. I don't know.
How about if we table the discussion, pull the board order? We may have to, since I'm going to present it at the next board meeting, we may have to push the date back that we're going to go live to make sure that you are updated on everything. Because like I said, this was prior to me, so I'm just, at least I thought I was following the board's order. That's what I thought I was doing.
And this was just an update.
That was just an update, just to let you guys know that I have been working on it and there is a plan in place. I'm going to put a pin in that plan until we can come together as one and make sure that everyone is on the same page. So I'm going to put a pin in that plan. We may be going live in November 1 instead of October 1 because I didn't know that Mr. Moore wasn't ready. I didn't know. You're welcome. I'm keep going. 432.
Oh, you want to do this?
Yes.
Okay, now there was no action on D. So now we're at 432, Yvonne Garian, control.
A, approval for the constable fees.
I'll make that motion. Second. All right, has been motioned by Supervisor Abraham and second by Supervisor Brown. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried.
B, request to pay $745 to MDHS for the August lease payment. The check was initially cut for $1,750, but it should have been cut for $12,495. And so that's the difference in what the check should have been and what it was actually cut for. And the amounts are in your, it's in there. Thank you.
This for the Department of Human Services?
Yes, sir.
Motion, Chad. The motion. I'll second it. There has been a motion by Supervisor Moore and second by Supervisor Mitchell. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried.
Thank you, Board.
Thank you. All right, we're now at 4:35. Cindy Long, discussion of New Stone Street lease.
I'm going to be brief. I say I have 5 minutes. I promise I won't take it. I'm going to paraphrase all this. This is in case how you,
Thank you, ma'am.
You want to read it later. I see you over here. All right, thank you for your time today. A couple of weeks ago, y'all had a concerned citizen that came in front of your board that was not a member or a board member of New Stone Street Baseball League, so I felt like there were some things that were said that I just felt like I needed to come and clarify, especially because at the end I sensed that y'all were going to help this league, this baseball league, so I wanted to make sure you understood how it was formed and understand how it was not formed. So I am currently the chairman for the Convention Visitors Bureau. 3 years ago, Andrew McQueen was the chair and I was the vice chair. Our objective in the community is to do things that will increase tourism spend in Greenwood. Very simple. We market a lot, and we also, our money comes from 1% sales tax through a bill from the state of Mississippi. So 4 years ago, we were at our audit, and our accountant kept saying we're not a for-profit. We were generating funds, and we were not spending them. And so we felt like it was our obligation to the community to try to look for opportunities to put money back into our city. We identified at the time there were 3 projects that we felt like would help increase tourism. One was the New Stone Street baseball revamp is what we'll call it. And all this proposal is in here. I'm not going to go through it. So on that one, and again, this is Convention Visitors Bureau money. This is not city money. This is not any other money. We spent $170,000. Because again, if you follow baseball is a great way to bring in out of town people if you have good conditions at a field, and they host tournaments. We also spent about $133,000 at the Elks Heart Lodge 64, and that was to, again, at one time they had come to me and said they used to host Elks Heart meetings from all over the state, and the facility had not had an opportunity to be updated, so we spent quite a bit of money there. And then the Greenwood Youth Soccer fields at Stribling Park, I guess, they did not have lights on their soccer fields. So again, they were missing out on opportunities to bring in soccer teams that would have a weekend tournament because they couldn't play night games. Specifically because the topic was the New Stone Street Baseball League. Willie Young at the time and Leroy Ware worked with a group called the Players Alliance. The Major League Baseball has a division called the Players Alliance that is specifically designed to help improve and supplement in ways under, I don't know how to say it, cities that have a higher population of African American children that don't have access to quality parks. So we worked with them, Willie worked with them, Leroy worked with them. No one received one dime from the Players Alliance. There was no conversation with anyone where someone asked me or told me that they knew we received money, and I said, "Oh, how'd you know about that? That's you weren't supposed to know about that." That conversation never happened. I'm not sure where that would even come from. But the first year, the Players Alliance gave us some equipment, and they bought us uniforms. That would have been in 2023. 2024, they only supplied uniforms, and then in 20 for 25, we were done. They only can help. There's so much need across the country that we got 2 years from helping them. So our registration, we have kept it as low as possible. We do $30, and that $30 helps us to buy uniforms. It helps us to pay umpires. It helps us for any additional equipment that we buy. We do not have a plethora of some storage room with all this baseball equipment that we refuse to give out to certain people. That is not the truth. We distribute what we do have according to needs of our teams. To the comments specifically, first of all, Mr. Ware was here. He stood up and set the record straight, I felt like. But I do want to say that there were, this year, I was contacted about 4 days before our season was scheduled to start. 4 days. We'd already had teams in the league. We already had the schedule set, and I did get a call from someone else who I respected very highly in the community. He had received a call to see if anyone knew me, and long story short, I wanted to help him. Our board wanted to help him. He came and said he had 40, 50 kids that played under him, but he didn't have anywhere to play. I know I was on the phone hours with my board, going back and forth, went back to him to find out if what we proposed was acceptable, and at the time he was very, very appreciative. So we allowed him for a greatly reduced price to play in our league, and I can promise you, I know at the end of 2 weeks ago, Mr. Abraham made a comment that if he wants to play in the league, he should join the league. So going forward, I've certainly learned my lesson. We do have a new Stone Street League baseball. If these children would like to join, we would hope that they would. If those people would like to come and be coaches, we would hope that they would. But when you try to start changing rules for other people, what happens is what happened here. This year we had several people, even I see a couple here. Eddie Stutruck, my partner, we sponsored a team. Interestingly enough, Mr. Pearson was short one team. When he came, he had 5, not 3, and because he couldn't find the 5th, I sponsored it. So we are not unwilling to work with anybody that brings us children that want to play baseball. That's what we want. We want equal opportunity. I want to thank you for saying that you would help us. I know in the past, Antoine has donated some bats and some helmets, and they're such. Mr. Ware knows and manages all this, so we want to thank you for your support in the past. But again, it takes money to keep going. I'm sure you've seen there was a proposal put before our city council to have a Parks and Recreation director that would manage all this, and to date that has not been accepted. I do hope that gets revisited, because I feel like we're prime for somebody like that could do baseball and football and even soccer, some other things. But anyway, the only thing is, watch us on Facebook. It's New Stone Street Baseball, because the children that did play for this other group, in the letter, there's the last 2 pages are a copy of the handwritten letter that I was given to give you a little bit of insight. But they did not. We collect addresses, because not only do we advertise on Facebook, we generate letters, and we mail every child that's played with us before, we mail them a letter and make sure they don't miss registration, because it's hard. Some people don't follow social media, and some of the kids won't see it. So we will be unable to do that, because he would not provide us with his quote was, "Our parents have concerns about the integrity of their addresses as it relates to playing baseball." So we have no way to, and we accepted that because of the kids. So we have no way to contact those kids. So if you know personally of children that would be interested, we will be back next year. Right now, it'll still be the New Stone Street if it changes to the City of Greenwood. But again, we are very accommodating, and we are all about the children. And I thank you a couple of weeks ago for saying that y'all would support it next year. We'll have needs, and we'll just let y'all know. And unless you have any questions, I really just wanted to come make sure y'all understood where the money came from, and it was not just money that we were given by the Players Association. So if there's no questions. See, I think I did less than 5 minutes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I see where the up top lies, that was 133 and some change.
Yes,
And then the exchange was the soccer field, like,
yes.
I didn't see a breakdown on that.
On which?
The
soccer lines?
Right.
It was just one meal to that 70,000. Yeah, there's a letter in there, should be, unless it's not in there. It's, it was a request for us to pay the bill. They had the lights. That was just the install, so.
$590.
Yeah, 70,590. I underlined it on mine. I don't know if I underlined it on yours, just to show you it was not a proposal. It was, he brought that, we talked to him, he brought it before the board, and we agreed, and it was just one check for that amount to the lighting company. And we do not pay.
So that baseball proposal never got funded?
Yes.
The 170?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you, we funded. Yeah, these are the three we funded. We spent right at $400,000. So the people who paid for the fields and who paid initially to get everything, we paid for scoreboards, and there is a breakdown to show what what the Convention Visitors Bureau paid for. Right here, it totals $170. This is a list of all of our vendors and what we paid for each one. And a lot of it was building construction, redoing the bathrooms, redoing the. We just wanted it to look better and be safer for the children.
Okay.
All right. But any other questions? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, we're now down 435. There was no action, just FYI. We're now down to 437. Advertise county resources. I asked that be placed on the agenda. With my remaining advertised county resources, I would like to donate $500. Well, no, $1,000 to the Itabena Little League Football League. And I would like to give the remaining $3,000 to the donate that to the Itabena Falls Festival. $3,500 to the Itabena Falls Festival. Thank you.
That's your motion?
That's my motion. It has been motioned by Supervisor Mitchell and second by Supervisor Moore. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carried. Okay, we're now down to 440 engineer report.
Everybody. The first one is a new LSBP program for a bridge on County Road 115. Y'all had 3 bridges that was eligible for LSBP funding. It was all 3 of them was in District 3, so we got with Mr. Brown and looked at them, and we went with the lowest one that was rated the lowest. So we need to use this. If not, they're going to start pulling the LSBP funds in the program. Didn't have enough to program the whole amount with LSBP funds, so what we had to do on the program is show part of it as county funded. But that'll change once we get to where we're going to advertise it. You have enough money in the LSBP funding here.
Motion approved. Let me ask a question for you, what qualifies you to be eligible? You said you only had 3 bridges eligible.
3 bridges. These are not on state aid routes or federal aid routes. They on off-system roads, and then it has to be rated low enough, meaning it has some critical features on the bridge that where it needs to be replaced.
And that's all we got in the 4 counties.
That's the only 3 eligible for this type of funding. Yes, sir.
And that one of those goes out, lose what you funded, right?
If what?
One of them goes out, one of the bridges. We got to keep all our bridges up to state.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, sir. Or
Right.
need to, yeah.
One time, if a bridge went out, we had trouble. Anyway,
I think that's what he just stated prior to, is that you need to go ahead and do it so you won't lose your funding.
Oh, yeah. Is that what you're asking? Yes.
I
If you don't,
mean, we had to fix this bridge up here in the city limits. But that was state aid.
That was state aid, yes.
Right.
That's correct.
But you state aid, when they inspect these bridges, you gotta correct those bridges that don't meet the qualifications.
Is this fully funded?
Because they will close. Yes, this is 100%. Yes, sir. Like I say, we're having to show it on the program. It's county funding right now. And by the time you actually get to advertisement stage, are ready for construction, then there'll be enough money in that fund
We got a motion out there from Mr. Brown. All right, got a second. All right, has been motion by Supervisor Brown and second by Supervisor Moore. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Sir? Ayes have it, motion carried. All right, B.
Like the next one was a request from Darlene Crystal Moore. I think y'all all remember her coming in. What is it?
So this is
This is on Grenada Boulevard.
It's just approved to have a
program advertised to have this property rezoned.
Yeah, I'll make that motion. It has been motion by Supervisor Brown, second by Supervisor Abraham. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. C.
And the last one is a supplemental agreement where we had to make some changes to a bridge project, which is SAT 4266. That's the one west of Middle City on County Road 145 in District 3. That's the one that's been under construction for the past several months. And it'll be paid for. It is increased right around $100,000. It will be paid for through state. What it was, the dirt on it was not suitable for backfill, so we had to go in and pay them for the excess dirt that had hauled off, plus the new dirt that they bring in.
What kind of road is that?
County Road 545. It
was in one
right there. Was in one, and then when y'all redistrict, it went to 3.
My bridge.
Yeah. And this is coming out of, this fund's coming out of state aid?
Yes.
Current state aid or?
So you current state aid, yes.
Motion for approval. What's the amount?
I think it was 106, I think. 6,000.
All right. There's been motion by Supervisor Brown and second by Supervisor Abraham. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried.
And that's all I have, unless y'all have any questions.
I'll have a truck in District 1, so you ride around there for a while.
Sounds good. There's a lot going on in one tonight.
All right. We're at 445 road manager's report. I'm sorry, Jerry. How
y'all done this evening, board? Mr. Brown, you and y'all may want to excuse.
Wait a minute, then, because they can't leave.
Just skip it.
I don't have
We won't have a quorum if they You have to wait till Supervisor Abraham come back. He's taking a call. Everybody leave her. We'll recess for 5 minutes. Yes, sir. It's a request from. It's a request from the school district. Supervisor Abraham has stepped out to take a call, and so Supervisors Brown and Mitchell were stepping out because of their employment. So we're temporarily on recess.
So he's stepping out. So
No.
Oh, is he?
We are not temporary on recess. We
Oh,
do not
okay.
have a quorum, so we will
We don't have a quorum.
We will not be voting on recess
Okay.
today.
Okay.
That's all we do.
Well, I can't
You
tell
can't table it. Still the morning you come back so we can.
Hey, you just remember that. So we gotta start not having forms on other stuff.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think we're gonna find them.
All right. I should have walked out of the morning. Hey, ask two of them to come back so we can table.
You can vote the table, Supervisor Brown, can't you? They're gonna vote the table. Table it. Can you vote the table?
For Shane disruption. I'm about to walk out.
You can walk out. Just switch.
Let's say that all night.
Just switch. 445 request to table approval to assist the Greenwood Leflore Consolidated School District.
Oh, I got it.
Have a motion. Have a motion to table.
I made a motion to table.
Motion died for lack of second.
Well, we make a motion to table.
Hang on just a second.
Hold on, Supervisor Collins.
4:45 p.m. Due to the fact that we cannot establish a quorum, I make a recommendation that we move item A from the agenda.
Tell somebody.
Sam, they ain't what Sam coming, so we both remove it. I recommend we remove item A, approval to assist the Greenwood Leflore Consolidated School District from the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
And don't get it.
I don't need you to tell me to sit down.
Based on the recommendation of the county administrator, I move that we'll remove 445 item A from the agenda. That's my motion.
I already made it.
We're not conducting a meeting right now. Ms. Collins.
Yeah.
Based on the recommendation of the county administrator, I made a motion that we take 445 item A off the agenda. I need a second.
That mean you.
Actually, you still there.
Oh. Okay, I'm sorry, you dropped. Sure is.
They not to remove it. They haven't removed it yet. But
Supervisor Collins, I was calling you back from the landline. Okay. All right.
sorry.
Okay. Supervisor Moore asked for motion for it to be removed from the agenda. We need a second.
Okay, it's been motion and properly second. All in favor, you can vote sign by saying aye. All opposed? Any further? I just want to say that the Leflore County Board of Supervisors, we do support our consolidated school district and all their efforts. We asked them to communicate with us, and they did. And so I just want to make that statement that we are in support of our school district and any assistance that we can give them moving forward. I have it, motion carried. This is other school district, other counties.
Okay. Hold on, Derek. Now, that was pretty tough to sit there and have the school district to ask help, and we reject to help them, but we give our help to every other entity that asks. Well, not every other, but most of the entities. Now, I noticed Mr. Brown had, and it's not, I know Mr. Brown had, well, not Mr. Brown, well, a guy came before us and asked to use Flowood for a track and field summer. And we know basically what that track and field event was held for and who it was held for. But yet and still, nobody got up and walked out, and everybody voted in support of it. But when we have a local school district that comes and asks for not monetary, they just ask for assistance, we deny it. But yet and still, we say we for the county. Now that is crazy.
Now, if you got to say so,
you can say yourself.
I sure will. They have $44 million bond issue. They're asking for almost 11 million increase, and we're trying to fund the budget, and we can't do our own maintenance. We can't get around our own maintenance. So you mean to tell me they can't handle their own business? It ain't. I mean, they asking for. What are they asking for? Isn't it cleaning up and cutting grass?
Some bush hog.
Yeah, I mean, we can't put, how many acres are we talking about?
Just off the agenda.
The same amount of time it would have taken him to bush all that.
I'm not sick of that now.
The same amount of time it would have taken us to bush all that. The same amount of time he put at Flowood getting it ready for that track and field.
Oh, that's crazy. But I mean, look, they just got their money. And if I got $44 million, I don't need no assistance.
But I ain't gonna let that one go. Mayor, I'm not letting that one go. I don't want to. But what I'm telling you is, we talk about Leflore, when you said that gentleman coming and he utilized that, and all public schools are invited. They are invited. And Greenwood High and a lot of others run out there. Okay. So that's not for the academy. So I agree with you saying. Well, I know that's what you insinuate, but I agree with you saying that we need to help out. We need to help out public school. I'm 100% with you. That's correct. But Leflore was a bad example.
That was that's where it was held at.
Yes, but that was a bad example because all our public school was invited. And a lot of them ran out there.
They did?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Public schools.
Okay.
Including Greenwood High, including all of them, public schools. Where they was invited. And we had a lot of public schools from around there. So, to me, that was a bad example.
Well, that was to you. One well taken. Go ahead, Derek.
All right, Board, the only other thing that I have, I want to bring to y'all attention that our paper went down and looked like it's a serious problem. I brought to you about 3 years ago that we were having a problem with the table where we do the organs asphalt out, and we got it in the shop and we're waiting on a quote back how much they're going to cost to repair it. I get it fixed, if it could be fixed. And as soon as I get an update, I'll be glad to bring it back to you. I do know we got a lot of projects. We're gonna need one soon, and we got a lot of projects out there that we're gonna need to keep it going.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jerry.
That's all right.
All right. We're now down to 450. Take care. Chancellor Clerk.
Yes, sir. Just bring the board minutes back for approval. Still waiting on the May 27th minutes to be approved.
Well, they changed that, don't they? We're going to have to rescind what we did, I believe, in that. Because they're doing the courthouse only now.
That's what the board order should say.
Now, that board order we originally did, it was for everything.
No, it was not. We stopped at page 15 or 16.
But this one is for you asked for the service agreement on it.
Yeah, it's the service agreement.
But the service agreement wasn't contingent on them completing the work. The service agreement was separate. The service agreement can't be included in the original contract. That's something we asked for separate.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. We asked, when we approved that, we approved to do all the buildings.
No, sir, we did not.
Before we ordered.
You wanted it to stop at a certain page in the contract.
I understand, but we approved to do all the buildings.
We only approved for the windows at the courthouse in the original. That was called phase 1.
We approved. Let's do this. Phase 2 was approved, but I wouldn't do the minutes until they gave us the maintenance.
That's correct.
So what I'm trying to tell you is we got to review phase 2 in that board order.
Okay.
That's what I remember now. So I mean, I'd make a motion to table that until we come up to what we know we're going to do, because we're going to have to go back and rescind that order.
What, May 27th?
May 27th.
Just May
27th. Just the
27th.
I'll second. Said that motion to table May 27th board minutes by Supervisor Abraham, second by Supervisor Brown. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Abstain. Supervisor Moore. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. B.
The minutes from July the 7th, 2025.
I'll make that motion.
There's a motion out there by Supervisor Abraham for B. Motion died for lack of second. C.
The minutes for July the 14th.
I'll make that motion.
Motion out there by Supervisor Abraham. Motion died for lack of second. D.
Minutes for July 28, 2025.
Your motion? Motion table. Good. There's a motion out there to table by Supervisor Brown. Motion died for lack of second. 455, discussion of juvenile detention center.
Do you want to discuss that before the budget?
It's up to the board. It's up to the board. I'm ready whenever you do it.
You got the good one. You got the good here?
Mr. Collins on the board.
He is. Ms. Collins.
I'll make a motion to get behind the juvenile detention center.
That's your discussion, that's your motion.
That's my motion.
There's a motion out there for Mr. Abraham, Supervisor Abraham, to defund the juvenile detention center. Motion died for lack of second.
What was the vote?
The motion was to defund the juvenile detention center by Mr. Abraham. He didn't get a second. Say that again now.
I can't second this funding. I second closing for remodeling.
I think the county administrator is standing up now to present something.
Okay.
Not if Supervisor Collins has a motion.
He didn't make a motion. He just said he wasn't going to motion behind it.
Okay. Hello again, board. I have been going through the budget for the past 2 months. Looking
I can't hear her.
Speak up, please. That mic works.
Can you hear me now, Supervisor Collins?
Yeah.
So for the past 2 months, I've been going through the budget, looking at areas that the county can cut, and unfortunately, what I'm stuck with the juvenile detention center is right now the building needs a lot of work. The building has issues beyond what the county's maintenance can take care of, and just based on the engineer, well, Shane's not here. Just based on the engineer going and doing a walkthrough of the facility, myself doing a walkthrough of the facility, the amount of money that the facility is going to need is going to be over $1 million in order to get it up to code, to get all the beds that are down operable. So obviously we are not going to get anywhere with continuing to motion to defund it and not moving forward, or continuing to motion to keep it funded and not moving forward. I would like today to present to the board that possibly we can defund it temporarily and use the money that we are funding it to renovate the building, bring it up to code so that it's no longer a health hazard for the employees nor the juveniles that are being housed there. Bring the current beds that are offline online. I'm not 100% sure how long that will take. That would be a discussion with myself and the engineers, but my recommendation is to temporarily defund it, use the funding that we were using for the overhead to renovate the building. Once the building is renovated, take that money and start back to funding the overhead, because there's no way to fund the overhead and do the necessary renovations, and the renovations at this point are critical in my opinion. So I present to the board splitting the baby.
Is there a motion out there based on the recommendation of the county administrator?
I have a word to say before y'all.
Yes.
If you're going to temporarily close the detention center, you might as well shut the entire building down. We have court there. The extension services housed in that building. I think you're putting employees basically will be out of work. I don't think that is the best decision, in my opinion. This is, and I said this before, this is a necessary element of our community. There are, if there's no place to send them, it's not that easy to send someone somewhere else. And even if you do, you're talking about expending money. I just left a conference not long ago, and one of the judges, matter of fact, I think it was down in Madison County, County Court Judge in Madison County. No, it was Judge Bevel from Tupelo. You don't realize what you're getting into because those expenses are going to exceed what you think they're going to exceed. If you got to send, you got transportation costs and housing costs of juveniles out of town. It's going to get really expensive. You think you're spending money now? They've blown the budget in other counties for transporting juveniles to other facilities.
Do you have?
And if you house them, they only get sent there if I send them there. And if I send them there for extended periods of time, you're going to be stuck with that bill. So you calculate 90 days for some of these kids that have gotten guns and switches. You calculate it, and you do the math, and then you got to transport them. You got to pay sheriff's department transport, even if, and that's an additional expense that we've incurred. So, which is not part of the sheriff's department's job. Okay, so y'all are getting into expenses that you really don't know what you're getting into. Do the math, 90 days times whatever that cost is, plus any other incidental costs that go along with it. This is my thing. 20 years ago, I won't say 20 years ago, it was 2009, 16 years ago up until now, we got here with increased costs because of all the problems that you had up there. We were under a consent decree back during that time. I didn't take over till 2023. We've been under consent decree up until just recently of April this year. We're no longer under a consent decree, thanks to my efforts, thanks to the staff efforts that you see here, thanks to the administrative efforts. We are at a point now where we're in a position to do the right things about juveniles, and we're doing the right thing where we weren't. That's why the federal government came in and was in jeopardy of being shut down. We've done what we needed to do. What did y'all do in response to the problems that you had at that time? You put money into it. And now that we've corrected the problem, you want to take money away from it. Make that make sense. I promise you this community would be a lot less safe if you defund the detention center. And I promise you regret it once it hits home. And it will hit home. Some of the people that are being charged with these murders are babies, are juveniles. And we're able to, a lot of times, keep them safe and keep the community safe by me putting them over there. But until that stray bullet hits somebody in your family or your church member or your friend or someone from North Greenwood, I promise you, when that happens, you're going to regret the decision to close the detention center. That's all I have to say about that.
Thank you, Judge. We appreciate it.
Judge, do you have a recommendation?
My recommendation for now, the building, it was pouring down raining in that building before I took over. The problems that existed, we put a new roof on it. Y'all have worked with me, and I appreciate that. So I don't want that to go unnoticed. The building is not a perfect building, but the building in its present form allows us to keep the community safe. There's no need to close the building. The state's not going to close the building because they don't have any, and they need it. They need it to stay open. State of Mississippi, Department of Public Safety needs that building to stay open. This community needs it to stay open. My recommendation to you all is that you leave it open in its current condition. It's not deplorable to such an extent that it's necessary to close it right now. That gives us time to explore other options to correct the problem. And a longer term plan. But for now, that's not the answer to closing. And I've heard, there's no more money being spent now than was being spent before I got here. And if it is, it's due to inflation, and it's due to salary increases that were approved by this board before I got here. Because that is the real problem. With the real expense is in the payroll. Y'all approved a payroll increase for the employees in the middle of my election against Judge Adams. And that is the real problem. That is the real problem. And not that it's a problem, but I mean, that's the source of what skyrockets the budget. And you can't get around that. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was trying to ask if that is the issue, what have we done to try to curtail that particular issue that was created?
Payroll.
Yeah, because payroll is what, 80% of the budget? How much
just about.
Just close to 80% of the budget.
Let me tell you what I've done. And one of the things that I recognize as being a problem is payroll. One thing that was going on before I got elected is that the overtime was a problem. So, and I mean, you were paying for overtime that was not necessarily legit. So what did I do? I put a time clock in and make sure that if you worked 8 hours, you got paid for 8 hours. You didn't get paid for 8 hours by just being an employee. That's one of the things that was done, that I saw going on. People that work over there, they come to work. They're not at home working, okay? These are some of the things, just being a good steward of public funding and make sure that there's accountability in the building. That's what I've done. That's what I'm going to continue to do. Short of that, as far as payroll, there's really not a whole lot can be done other than keeping those main core of employees that are full-time, because there are a handful of them, and then making sure you keep enough part-time employees so that you don't blow the overtime budget. And that's why I need y'all to help me, is making sure we got enough part-time employees where you don't have to pay for retirement, pay out and pay this overtime and pay these fringe benefits. That's what I need y'all to do to help me. And that's one thing we can do to keep it down.
How many more part-time employees do you need?
It's not there, man. I can't give you an exact number right now, but maybe about 3 or 4 more part-time employees should get us there.
The building itself, you mentioned about needs a lot of things to do. We don't have a figure on that, do we?
We have a figure of upwards in $1 million from Willis Engineering. That's the only figure that we have from an engineer or a contract. We have a figure of about $170,000 from Ms. Sharon Elliott from a few months ago when the board asked for some information on some mild renovations. She just kind of did a walkthrough on some things and looked at some quotes that she had gotten since she had been there and compiled those, and it equaled to about $170,000, and the board did receive that. That was on the lower end, and I don't think that included bringing all of the beds online, because we have quite a few beds right now that are not online. So we can't house juveniles in those beds because there are issues with the rooms. There's issue with the plumbing. There's mold and mildew issue. There are a lot of issues that I personally feel like we need to address, like yesterday. I understand that the judge was right, and this was prior to my time. The roof was taken care of. There are a lot of things that he asked for when he was elected that has been taken care of, but there are also a lot of things that he has no control over that happened prior to him being elected, and they are getting worse by the days in terms of that building as a whole. My first week with the county, I did a walkthrough of that building. That was almost 9 months ago. I can imagine that it has gotten worse. Fortunately, they had an inspection from the Mississippi Department of Corrections, Public Safety, and they passed the inspection because the staff went through. They did a lot of cleaning. They spent some overtime hours over there doing some things to the floors, wiping the walls. They did a lot of cosmetic things that helped them out a lot to keep the building open, but that was cosmetic. The root of some of the issues, especially the plumbing issue with some of the cells don't have adequate plumbing. So yes, sir.
I think we're gonna go into those kind of details.
Okay, we need to go into executive session. Okay.
I mean, it's up to y'all, but I'm just telling you.
I mean, y'all have all before now. I don't know if you need to go through it again, but you've been provided with a packet with all of the problems that exist over there that need to be corrected. If you want to talk about that, so just refer to it.
Give me one of those packets.
But I've given it to you, Mr. Abraham, a couple times. I can give you another one, but I've given it to you a couple times. Yes, sir.
No, I don't know when, but that's fine.
So, 4:55, is your recommendation still on the table? Anybody going to make a motion?
Thank you.
Nobody made a motion based on her recommendation? Anybody make a motion?
Nothing Richard.
Yes, sir.
I don't have to vote on that.
Nobody made a motion. Nobody has motion yet.
Is it still discussing?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mitchell, I'd like to make a motion that we close it for renovation because we don't have the funds to renovate it or to keep it open under the condition that we are not able to accept out-of-town kids. And that is my motion. The budget is not going to allow us to keep it open at this present time.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Your motion is to defund the juvenile detention center for renovation.
Not to defund. To close it for renovation.
So are you committed to providing a $1 million fund so that renovations can go on and be, is that part of your motion too, since that was a recommendation?
Say that again.
Are you committed to providing the $1 million funds to renovate the detention center in light of that being her recommendation, since that's the purpose for which it's being closed?
Was that her recommendation?
My recommendation did not have a timeline on it in terms of the renovations of the building.
So what you're saying is that you have to make
unless the board wants a bond, we have to.
So what's the necessity in closing it if you don't have the funds right now to make the renovations?
Because the renovations will be made, the payments for the renovation will be made the same way the monthly overhead is made. But paying a contractor or an engineer $1 million today to go in and do all the renovations, I can't say that. That would be me standing here before you, this board, and this attorney lying. if I said we're going to take $1 million and we're going to go in and do everything. This is a gradual process, and I don't know how long it's going to take, but it will be funded. The renovations will take place on a monthly basis. The payment will take place on a monthly basis. We don't have the money to take it and do it all at one time, is what I'm saying. And if that was the case, then we would be able to fund the overhead, and also fund the renovations of the building.
So again, my question is, what is the necessity within which to temporarily close it right now when we're not in a position financially to make the repairs?
We're not in a position financially right now to make the repairs and commit to the overhead. So going through the budget over the last month, the repairs are needed. You agree with that? The repairs are needed. Also, if we're going to keep the doors open, the overhead is needed, because you can't have people over there working and not pay. You can't have the necessary supplies if they're there every day. You got to have that. So the only reason I bring it to the board in this way is because we are at a standstill on opposite ends on what we can do moving forward.
Okay. Go ahead.
Mr. Supervisor, Ms. Stenson, and Judge, I am perplexed a little by this, because the law, we've been through this, the law says that the supervisors can defund the detention center, but it can't close it. So when you say temporary closure, what does that practically, how does that, are we really just closing it?
Because not closing it.
But
it can only come from an order from me.
That's correct. Right. So our motion would have to say defund.
Right. Because if the judge want to keep the doors open, he can. But the supervisors will decide if the doors open still get paid.
Okay. Let me address that to President Collins. Right. Mr. Collins, did you hear that?
No, I didn't. Go ahead.
You can't make a motion. Supervisors cannot make a motion to close the juvenile detention center. We can only make a motion to defund it. So what you can say, if you want to continue to make that motion, is that you motion to defund the juvenile detention center while construction goes on.
That is my motion.
He said that is his motion.
Now, as far as the renovations, that's going to be definitely put into motion, put into action for trying to get this everything.
I got one more question. Go ahead, Mr. Collins. Well, when you defund it, as far as when is the starting date as far as defunding? You're going to give what?
Can I interject this in real quick? I did a calculation.
Okay, let me say this. If y'all think y'all can find it in the budget to keep the juvenile detention center open, if you think you can find it in the tax dollars, I'm for it. If not, I'm making a motion to defund it until further notice, until we can
start. When is the defunding going to start? You're going to say October 1, September? When are you
October 1.
It costs you each month 5 times.
But if y'all see where you can find it in the budget, let's do it. Let's try it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So y'all all wait the next week?
We got
y'all budget, let that fine. You see where y'all can find it, let's find it.
Because defund means don't put any money. That's what unless we're saying, what are we saying?
It's defunding juvenile detention building.
The building.
Operation. He's still going to have the
court and everything. That's right.
So is that within your, Ms. Stansel, that, and the scholar said you can't find it in the budget, so could you find that in that budget?
To do both?
Yes.
I cannot. We can continue to fund the juvenile detention center. However, we will not have any money to make the necessary renovations, or we can make the necessary renovations and go back and refund it. We cannot do both.
But we do, and we definitely got to get that building together.
That's my opinion from the walkthrough that I did, but that's up to this board.
All right, we got a motion.
We're working with the state, with the juvenile detention center about the renovations. They always work with us, but they said we didn't have to do it all at once. They said they know we have a problem with money. Said we can do like one thing at a time. That will keep us above ground. But just not doing nothing, that is our biggest problem.
That's basically my recommendation, is not doing it all at one time. The only difference is we wouldn't be able to continue to fund the overhead while we are funding the renovations.
And of that, like the bigger problem, like the plumbing and some of the things that's going on, but most of it is like the plumbing itself. We can't even get maintenance to come over and do the necessary things that we can do on our own instead of like going through, basically spending a lot of money. If we get our maintenance department to come over and fix certain things, a lot of that stuff be scratched off our surface. We work too hard for that to happen to that detention, and that's the overall.
Well, you got a motion. We definitely not, and I understand that. Been wrestling with it for a long time, but we want to keep it open. I think all of us do. We want to make sure, as you stated, about the building, about the situation, about getting that taken care of. Those things, even though they're juveniles, but they have to live, and I know y'all doing the best y'all can. I'm not saying that, but they have to live in the best condition as possible, and it's up to us. That's a county building. That's not a detention building. That's the county building. It's all our responsibility to make sure those kids are kept much as comfortable as possible and make sure things are working normal. Those type things. And I wish that, and I'm getting that to Ms. Scott, but I wish that we was able to do both.
I've been trying.
A lot of these problems came before Judge Woodley even came.
He stated it. He stated it, so did I.
Right, but this is where we are. We can't go back. This is where we are. This is where we got to go forward. With that said, I second Ms. Collins' motion.
Okay. County Administrator?
Yes, sir.
All due respect, and I appreciate your efforts, and because we have been dealing with this for quite a while.
Since my first day at the county.
There's no way we could conscious that I would believe that this county or city would be better off without the detention.
I'm not saying that.
I know it's not good, with all due respect. And I just, under no circumstances, can I go along.
So, there has been motion by Supervisor Collins and second by Supervisor Brown that we defund the building of the detention center beginning October 1, 2025. All in favor, say. That's what you just said. Yeah, he asked you. Is that what you asked?
The attorney said the proper language has to be used.
And you said that defunding the building, not the staff. You still have this and have that.
We still have to have money in there for transportation or anything else that we need to do in the interim.
Well, same. Okay, I understood defunding the operations of the detention center. That's how I understand defund. That's the reason why I'm concerned about that word. When you say you're gonna make a motion to defund the detention center, that means remove funding. But what you're saying is not to remove the funding, but to temporarily reallocate.
I think that is
reallocate the money some kind of way.
That's what you're saying? Yes. For overhead and going toward renovation.
The money that we would use to fund the overhead would go towards the necessary renovations. It would also go towards housing juveniles at other facilities and transporting juveniles to other facilities temporarily.
Okay, so now back onto the attorney. This is what she stated. Okay, before we carry this motion.
When you approve the budget, will the detention center have a budget?
Yes.
Gotta have that.
Okay, again, is that motion legitimate? Before I carry.
Before you carry
I got questions about
You gotta adequately.
what's in it. I got questions and concerns about the effective date. It's not all coming together right now for me at all.
I didn't give an effective date.
And I know Mr. Collins did, and so
The law is clear. The law is pretty
don't need
clear.
to move forward.
The law says that the supervisors may, in his discretion, fund the operations of the detention center.
Correct.
And the issue that I'm having is, it also says, if you're going to fund it, you have to adequately fund it, which technically we didn't
do last year. And I proposed to this board at the last meeting that is not something that I wanted to continue to do.
And let me add this in. If you're going to adequately fund it,
that's on an annual basis.
Adequately fund it with it being open, because I'm not closing the detention center. That's where the caveat problem comes in legally. Until I close it, then it has to be adequately funded at the same rate that it's been being funded. I don't think there's a chance for the judge in this state.
It's got to be adequately funded. You can send them to Greenville or somewhere. I mean,
that's within my discretion.
That's right. You don't want to send them. Take them out.
Send them home. Or if I send 10 or 15 a month, you're going to be right back where you started from financially, because it's going to cost more than $150 a day times 12 months. So you really don't know what you're getting into financially.
Can I say something?
Okay, let's get.
Can I say something? My recommendation was based on the fact that I have been with Leflore County since January 2nd. My very first order of business when I started with this county was the juvenile detention center. That was my very first order of business. So from that day to this day, that has been a discussion of mine every single solitary week. My recommendation was not to offend the staff nor the judge. My recommendation was not to offend nor appease this board. My recommendation was trying to find a middle ground. That building is in disarray, and it needs to have necessary renovations done. Not from what I've heard, from what I've seen with my own eyes. I came to this board months ago crying, real tears, because I didn't want to say that this juvenile detention center needs to be closed, because I have young cousins, young brothers, young sisters that may end up over there. But I am the one that is responsible for working on this budget and presenting this budget to this board. And I came to this board with a recommendation that I thought would be fair, not defund it or close it or whatever the terminology is forever, but until we can make the necessary improvements to the building. If we don't care about that county building and we don't want to make those necessary improvements, then we can continue to fund it at $1 million, which is what the county is over budget in every year for the last 5 years. I am trying to be a good steward over the county's money. I'm not trying to offend anyone. This is not a political for me. I don't run for office. I'm appointed by this board, and I am trying to do the best thing by the county's funds and this board. So I needed to say that before I go home tonight.
Okay.
And the board can do what they wish with their information. But that is where Cynthia Stansel stands.
And I thank you for your thank you. I really do. All right, so there is a motion out there, and there's a second. Is anything wrong with the wording of what that motion is? Again, to you, Attorney Floyd. It's not.
I think Supervisor Moore is still unclear on how we move forward all together. So, can I make another recommendation?
It looks like you all are not defunding it at all. It looks like to me that you're leaning towards not defunding it.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Supervisor Collins, since you made the motion,
Supervisor Brown,
Peace.
I done kicked this thing down the road just as far as I can kick it. I done did everything humanly possible to make the juvenile detention center work within our budget. I done even talked with the governor. I done talked with Governor Hofer. I done talked to all 7 counties surrounding us.
Okay.
If I was not advocate to house kids over there, we can't house the kids because the families ain't in no shape to house them. And if y'all want to kick it down the road, I'm through with it. I done made my motion, and that's it.
Mr. Cox, President Cox, that wasn't Supervisor Brown. That was Supervisor Mitchell that was asking you. I was about to ask you will you rescind. So you're sticking with your motion, and Mr. Brown, you're sticking with your second.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It has been motioned by Supervisor Collins and second by Supervisor Brown.
Let me ask you one question before we get into this. Why don't we add in that in accordance with law?
What's the motion?
Is that okay?
I'm going to try to repeat it as best as I can.
Yes. Let me say this. Y'all been knowing for months now what we've been working on with this juvenile detention center. If y'all want to kick it down the road a little further, that's fine with me. I'm just telling you.
I'm saying just add to your motion in accordance with the law.
In accordance with the law.
Right, that's all I'm saying.
That's good.
Okay, you all right with that?
Okay, so the motion is, I'm going to try to repeat it as best as I could, Supervisor Moore, is to defund the operation or the operation of the detention center beginning October 1 in accordance with the law. Is that right?
That is it.
That's true. But now, that's to fix on the building. It's not just to defund it.
Correct. No, that
while renovations are taking place of the current building.
Okay.
So what happens when you're renovating? Where are the juveniles going?
My hope is to another facility, but that's at the judge's discretion.
That's what the judge.
All right, it has been motioned.
And again, is the designated area for them, because I don't believe this is the best plan. I understand it's a plan, but to me, this is just my opinion, it's not the best plan we can come up with. If I designate that as the detention center and I send them there, it has to be adequately funded.
That's why it's
in accordance with the law, and if necessary, maybe a chancellor has to.
It has been motioned by, thank you, Judge. It has been motioned by Supervisor Collins and second by Supervisor Brown. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, aye.
32.
Ayes have it. Motion carried. It was opposed by Supervisor Mitchell and Supervisor Mitchell.
Mr. I want to thank you.
Yes, sir.
And at 5:05, approval to adjourn.
Budget discussion.
Oh, I'm writing on the wrong thing. Okay. Budget discussion. 5 o'clock. Discussion of 2025-2026 budget.
The board will take time to get through the packets that they've received. I'll just put them down. Like a minute. Right here. Right here. In your folder. In your folder. There you go.
I gotta say that. Am I giving them money? No. Can you give them money?
I'm not asking for any. I'm not asking for any.
This is the first page is just the budget for the whole thing, and you'll be taking money out of the money.